I'm here with Kaley Zeitouni. She was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis at age 12. And, she's an adult now, and she's also symptom free. And we're going to talk about how all that happened, maybe, baby, right now. Boom! Don't talk about it, be about it. No. I'm sorry. Like, I was silly to be like, hey, this is a person with MS. Hey, this is a person who has radically changed so many different parts of their lives over years and is now in a place where the disease that they were supposed to have for the rest of their entire life is not really active and being so much of a presence in their life currently. And that's cool and important and awesome. And just like, no, hi, talk to us all. What's happening?
You said it all. It's an amazing life. I mean, yeah, if I could have, I think part of me believed when I was diagnosed that this was possible. I know part of me believed that, but to think a doctor would acknowledge it and then that I would get to actually live it and be open about it, because people all over the world are healing themselves from all kinds of diseases every single day. But it's not something that you can really talk about or publicize, and you're looked at like a total weirdo,
What do you mean you healed yourself from an incurable disease?
Right. Yeah. And, it's hard to just, it's such a gift. I get to live this gift every single day in the most, to know that, I grew up with this awareness that this was going to be the rest of my life. This awareness that, this might affect career. This might affect my children. This is going to affect my relationships. And to now, I don't have to worry about symptoms. I don't have to think about disease at all is like, you can't, gift is not it's such an understatement, yeah, it's a miraculous life.
It is an understatement because when the disease takes things away from you, you think they're gone. And then when you sort of shift and you get those things back, you're like, what is this magic? The doctor didn't tell me to do this. What's going on? That's part of what makes folk like you just so special, because it's like, this is the realm of knowledge and this is where we play. Also, here's some other knowledge that we play in, and let's swim in as many of these different areas as we can because we want to thrive. That's it. I don't want to follow rules. I don't want to do things the way I'm supposed to. I want to thrive.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You're saying so much that's so important. Like, I think especially when you live with chronic illness, there is a lot of that, like, what is the right thing? Because there's suffering and there's misery and all the symptoms, and then just managing the disease and then the side effects of the medications, like all of that. And so often we get into this cycle, this mindset of what is the right thing to do? What do I need to do right now? What am I supposed to do right now? And at the end of the day, I say this all the time in class, like there is no right or wrong. It's about choosing you first. What feels good to you? What's going to feel nourishing? Because one medication is different for the next person, and the heat is going to be different for each person. And, so it's having to take that step back where we have a medical system that, by the way, I love. I'm so grateful to doctors and medicine, and truly, 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 it's a big part of my recovery process. And there's just so much gratitude. So I always like to say that and be really clear about that. And at the same time, there is this sense of like, there is a clear right or wrong. Do this, don't do that. This is what's going to happen. This is how the disease will be. And that just doesn't make sense. At a certain point, we have to start saying to ourselves, I don't want to just get treatment. I want to thrive. And, I'm really blessed that my neurologist, that's his perspective. He's like, my job is not to mitigate disease. That's not my job with my patients. That's not my job with you. He says to me, my job is to help you thrive. So if you're getting by, I don't go home and sleep at night. No, I have to figure out what's going to get that patient to the next level of living, right? So I think, we forget about that option a lot when we're living with disease. I mean, listen, it was my childhood. It wasn't easy. And to have MS growing up, and injections and everything that came with it, and all the doctor appointments and all the specialists, and figuring out being in a high school where there were stairs and I couldn't walk up the stairs. I mean,
Yeah.
it was everything. And just being able to take that step back and realize my mind, I was in survival. But what would it be like to aim for thriving? I think we get so stuck in the symptom management and disease management that we forget that we should want more. We deserve to want more,
Yeah, no, these symptoms bog you down. The health taken away from you, in ways that not only did you not imagine, but you had only thought about these health outcomes. You had not considered these other health outcomes that you're currently living and that are horrible. So there's some strange cognitive dissonance in that, where you're like, this community says I can't do nothing about this, but this community says, heck yeah, I can. And finding my own way through the middle of that is kind of what the work is. Because like you say, what works for one does not work for the other in the same sort of way. But all of the components that you have walked through and that you have not internalized, but given your focus to, have brought some idea of healing, and whether or not it takes you as far, the specific modality takes you as far as it's taken me, that's not important. It is important that you work this healing modality as much as you can. If you don't get as much from it, cool, here's something else that maybe you will get something from. You hit on a great point of not only is MS totally different for everyone, but how you are going to get to wellness is totally different for everyone. And it might not look like how you think wellness should, quote unquote, look. In order to get, like, you're used to taking a thing and getting results, not walking on the grass with your bare feet for 20 minutes and doing qigong to get that effect. So that's what I'm saying. So talk to me. So like, what are some of the things that you've got sort of in your goodie bag and work to relay to folk that this could be something that might help their wellness?
Woo! I got a whole list.
Yeah, girl.
I'll rewind for a second and just say what I believe is really important when you start to approach this world, the world of mind-body medicine, is that it's very important to always remember that you do have to find the balance in the middle, right? This isn't about some like woo-woo hippie thing. There is so much research out there. And when you follow the research, when you start to understand physiology, you just understand what's happening in your body, it opens up such a world. So you can say, for example, okay, well, we know it has been studied that gratitude actually changes the way your nervous system functions. It actually changes it. It rebalances the autonomic nervous system. Okay, amazing. So let's start a gratitude practice. And that's just from understanding how the body works. It's just built in that way, like how cool is that, right? So then, you want to start to look at what else is there. If the body has the body has a natural capacity to heal. We just have to turn it on. That's what everything's about, right? And that's where I started, like, really zeroing in. I was like, I believed this body, a human body that creates life. I said to myself, surely there's a reality where it can heal. It has to be able to heal, right? And so I just had to figure out what's going to turn that mechanism on, right? And as we know with MS, the immune system is malfunctioning. It's attacking the nervous system. Once you are in a state of disease, you're in fight or flight. So you got to start to calm down fight or flight, because the fight or flight response is activating symptoms. Again, all scientific research, right? So then I just had to go in and say, okay, what calms down the fight or flight response? Oh, meditation. I was not a person who would have meditated. You know what I mean? I was like, really, I have to meditate? But okay, you know what? I've fought so hard to just maintain some level of normalcy with the illness. And I had to fight so hard through symptoms and through medication. And I mean, it's exhausting. We all know that. So I was like, well, I'm going to take all that energy and put that into these things which have been proven to calm down the nervous system, to calm down the fight or flight response, to awaken the body's natural capacity. So you brought up a great one, grounding, right? Just get your bare feet on the earth. We have this incredible earth. And if you walk around and you see those beautiful trees that have been around for thousands of years, that's not random. There's something happening in the earth that they are getting, right? So stands to reason, I should get my skin on the earth. And turns out there's research to back that up, which is so freaking cool.
A lot of the stuff, it's like, well, how is that? How is walking on the ground for 20 minutes every single day going to heal me? I don't know how this is going to work, but I'll do it. And then one day, weeks later, you realize that your walk has not been as janky as it was the past few years. And you're like, wait a second, did that cause have this effect? Oh, but it's different than if I would have been presented. If you want to change your janky gait and your knee spasticity, walk on the ground for 20 minutes per day, every day for 3.5 weeks. And then you will have the result that you want. It's not dressed up that way because it can't be dressed up that way.
Right.
And that's kind of one of the most things that make the healing fleeting, because it's dressed up in ways that are not unfamiliar to you. And it's doing things that are even more unfamiliar to you. It's remarkable in one really has to remove their notions of what is possible.
Yeah. And you have to open up your notion of what is possible and fully commit to the belief that it is possible. And that's not necessarily easy, as we know. And so, I always tell my clients, like, you have to inundate yourself with stories of success. You have to hear it over and over and over again. All kinds of people who have been living symptom-free, who weren't walking and are now walking. And you have to remind yourself of that constantly so that is your motivation. And the truth is that there isn't a pill, there isn't an injection, a infusion that's available on the market today where they can tell you that either, where they can say, you take this and this will change your gait.
Right.
So we're not getting that on that end either. But what there is a guarantee of is that you are absolutely, and this is shown through research, this is helping your body. You are rebalancing and boosting your body. And so, because you can see the repair happening in a lot of this work. And so it's really harnessing your mental capacity to just, it's harnessing belief, and it's harnessing a dedication and a discipline that I will do this every day. Because I remember the day that changed for you. I remember the text message I got from you, and that I saved it. I took a screenshot of that. I was like, that is everything. That it's worth it, right? It was worth the 20 minutes every day to be able to walk with a normal gait. Is it not?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? So, and it's the weirdest thing. And you know what? If you can't walk, you can sit on the earth with your bare feet for 20 minutes every day. Just as good. You're getting just as much from the earth. So anyways, it's a long way of saying it's about harnessing that internal commitment to another future, to another possibility, that there is a different option. And we both know how hard that can be when you're balancing so much, when that pile is so high as you described. But you have to start somewhere. You have to pick something. And this whole concept, is all about mind over matter. And I've seen it time and time again. I was diagnosed when I was 12. About a year later, I became a patient advocate. And then shortly after that, started a support group. Like, I was working with people in a space at all ends of the spectrum of disease. And without a doubt, you see the difference in someone's psychology with their illness. The people who really absorbed every word their doctor said, they went home and unfortunately withered away, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And the people who kind of walked out and went, okay, I'm going to figure this out. I got to figure this out. And I'm going to focus on what I do have. I'm going to focus on the gifts I have. I'm going to focus on the fact that today I can see, and that's a win. And that's what I'm going to focus on. Those people, that mentality, do a lot better with the disease. We all know that. We see that around us. And so you just have to continue to amplify that and find something motivating. I had to motivate myself by saying, first of all, I was like, I'm not going to live the rest of my life this way. That was big. I was young. I was in my 20s and I was like, I'm going to live the rest of my life with disease. I had a moment where just like, nope, not an option.
Nope.
And then I had this moment where I was like, okay, but this is hard. It's not easy. There were some really tough moments sitting there in like horrendous pain, barely being able to move and still having to hold on to hope. And I had to find a motivator. And my motivator was, I'm going to have kids one day and I'm going to want to go running with them. I'm going to want to feel healthy and strong with them. I'm going to have teenagers who are going to go for a run. I want to do that with them. Okay, that was my motivation. So I'd go back, I'd be in horrendous pain, tears streaming down my face from pain. And I would go back in and close my eyes and I would do my visualization, because here's the other thing you asked about, tools and techniques. The brain does not know the difference between what is imagined and what is real. Your body does not know the difference. You have to convince it. Obviously, there's like more specifics to that, as you know from our class. You have to visualize it correctly, but I would just, I'd be in horrendous pain, close my eyes. Those running with my future kids was that motivation. So I just had to keep holding on to that. And the human spirit, I mean, you are so much stronger than and when you live with this disease, you start to realize how strong you actually are. So you're already so strong just for facing this. Like, it's what I always want to tell people, like, you have that strength inside of you. Now you just got to shift it over, harness it over here,
It's a lot of mental shifts and a lot of once we get past woo-woo, once we get past this is hard, once we get past I'm not seeing any results, there's the idea of you having a notion of yourself in your gourd that you currently do not have, and having that gourd notion of you carry you through the tough stuff. Wait, is this really gonna work? Wait, this isn't working how I thought it would work right now. It's a whole bunch of garbage. Bye. Like, no, your idea of this self of yours propels you through that and propels you through the mental stuff, which is the heaviest stuff to lift a lot of the times.
Yeah. And remember, you're changing your cells. I mean, to heal the body is really, it's no small act. And it's not the same as taking a medication. So, for example, I was on Tysabri for years, amazing drug. And it blocks the blood-brain barrier. Well, that's amazing. Okay. So you have immediate protection. There it is, right? We're actually asking, when you embark on this path on, mind-body medicine, you are actually asking the body to change. And so you have to give it time to do so. I mean, I have seen spontaneous remission. I've seen it. It's possible, totally 100% possible. Most of the time, it takes some time. And I always relate it to when you have a scab. You get a cut and you have a scab on that cut, right? On that injury, that wound. And the scab does not look good. If someone were to just look at that. They're like, ooh, that must hurt. Is that bad? But the scab is a sign of healing because underneath that, you are developing new skin. On the surface, it's ugly. But then all of a sudden that scab is going to fall away and you're going to have this beautiful, strong new skin because your body naturally has that capacity.
Oh, Lord. I'm sitting here, Kaley Zeitouni, talking about how to make my multiple sclerosis scab new skin, ladies and gentlemen. But no, it's you guys. There's a lot of wind in my sails. Has come from things that are on the doctor's recommended list and things that are not on the doctor's recommended list. And just me working and believing that something is going to have some value in it for me. And even if it does not have as much value as I initially thought, if it gave me some value, great. And if it gave me nothing at all, great. And I'm not like looking for my cure for multiple sclerosis in this one thing. And that's really the most important thing. People are just folk, myself included, would just want to be able to like take a pill, be done with this thing for, so
we don't
recover.
have that pill. Like I wish.
We don't have that. It doesn't work that way. And part of what makes your light so radiant is that you hold that space and you're like, yes, I know. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You might have to do this for, I don't know, 3 months. Yes. So you've done it for 2 months and it's nothing. It hasn't had the effect. Yes. Cool. Let's hold space for that. Also, you need to do it another month. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so real. And I think that has been such a beautiful outcome of my journey. I didn't know this is what I was going to be doing for a living, but it's really hard and it's so beautiful. It can be so hard to be with someone when they're ready to throw in the towel and they're frustrated and their legs weren't working that day and they've tried everything. They're doing all the medical approach and then all the mind body stuff. And they're just like, I don't have any energy left for anything else. I can't do this anymore. And to be the voice, because you cannot go it alone. And so then my job is to be able to be that voice and be like, I know. But remember a few months ago when you could barely move and you said like, I can't, when you're at a rock bottom, my job is to remind people of that and just be like, this is what you're fighting for. And to remind them that they're fighting for their kids and that they're fighting for their relationship and that they're fighting for health and that it's possible and within reach, and to awaken that in them again. And it's so profound because it's often the next moment when the healing happens, when the change happens, when the body says, oh, okay, I like this. Now it was feeling that the whole time, but it was changing things over and we weren't able to see it yet. And so then all of a sudden gait starts to improve, some feeling starts to come into a hand. But it's usually like right after that, I got to throw in the towel. And it's really hard to hold, to help someone in that moment because I know the pain and I know how much it's not, I can't even say giving up because it's not giving up. You're just trying to survive. And I get it. I so get it. If someone threw in the towel, I would never blame them for that. I'd be like, you know what? Valiant effort. You tried, and I just have to, because I know how good it is to live this life. And because I know it's possible, I just feel like an obligation for those who do come to me. It's not for everyone, but for those, I just feel this obligation that I'm like, I got to just keep remotivating them until it clicks, until the moment happens, until the body starts to, until I get that text from Damien being like, hey, I have tried to work on the symptom for so long and who knew it was going to be grounding that moved the needle. I'm like,
on.
Amazing.
And but that's precisely it. If you were given a sheet with 10 steps on it, here's how you remove this symptom. You might say, you're like, I'm ready to go. I will do all 10 of those steps. But you might not actually do all 10 of those steps. I'm not going to. So that's kind of what this sort of class and this group and this community that you're
Yeah.
fostering. And
Yeah.
that's why it is so pivotal when you don't know which way is up, or
Yeah.
you're just like done with trying things, or you've had this disease for 20 years and it's not getting any better, or whatever your stuff is. Um, uh, Class like yours helps sort of take an external look at it, and hopefully, I mean, at least for me, like you have uh, another set of ideas and motivations and behaviors and healing modalities to work
Hmm.
with your current disease
Yeah.
state. Like I keep holding this because it's like, oh, this is my claw hand. The last poor Yorick, I knew him well, but you don't. It's not going to be a pill. It's not going to be that thing that your friend heard about. Maybe some of what your friend heard about might be
Right.
in here, but nobody's MS looks the same, and
Right.
we are not doing a heal MS pill thing. We are doing
No.
a give your body something good class.
Yeah.
So as
This,
much as you no, I just wanted to make this point in this way. As much as you are like, I want to be done and I want to be healed. Not only am I not sure if it works that way, but the only focus should just be, what can I work on now? What
yeah.
can I work on now?
Yeah.
And the inches of it all will get you the yards and the whatever the
Yeah.
hell the bigger measurement is
Yes.
of health down the line. You'll get there.
Totally.
And you are so far back that you want to be so far ahead. But it's like, no, this is all you're going to get right now because we've been doing
Well,
this other thing for a while. And classes like yours help foster that community and the support and the knowledge and the belief to keep going. And that's really why it's like, hey, no, come here on the show, talk about all this stuff, talk about yo things. You talk about the class, girl. We gonna put a coupon code in the bottom. Y'all want the Kaley Zeitouni class? Do yourself a favor, because it will look like nothing you have ever tried before, or maybe it has. And that's the point. Just to show up again, recommit again, and if you continue to show up without expectation, you will be surprised to where you end up. Believe that.
mm, mm, that's such a beautiful way of putting it. And what you're also making me realize is like you asked, what are some tools and techniques? I think the most important thing is that it's not about that laundry list of tools. It's about shifting your perspective and your relationship to the thing, to disease, to your body. Because we are in tension with our body from day one of diagnosis. We feel betrayed. We we feel lost. We feel like totally at the mercy of our body oftentimes. And so it's a conflict. And I think you would agree that one of the most important foundations before we even get into the nitty gritty in the class is like, we got to change that relationship because it's really hard to, like you're saying, recommit. Well, imagine a relationship with a partner and it's just been a mess for years, right? A mess, MS. Well, like if it has
Oh
been
God!
but if it's been a mess for years and you've just been at each other and fighting, and then the moment things are quiet and you try to compromise, you try to listen to the body and give it everything it needed. Well, the thing is that you actually have to rebuild the relationship and start from scratch, because in that state you don't want to recommit. That is not inviting. That's, you have no desire to recommit. So we literally start from scratch from day one, right? And I think that's really the magic of it. It's not, I don't like using the word magic because it's really all science, but we do get really have exciting moments where it does feel like super profound and magical. But it's really, that's why that's essential, so that when you go through that list of 10 things, you're doing the grounding, you're doing the gratitude, you're visualizing. Well, on the hard days, they're not as hard because you have a completely different understanding of how your body works, how you work with your body, because that to me is like, I always am amazed by this. We have this body our entire lives, but nobody gave us the manual. No one taught us how to live in a physical body. No one taught us that, hey, when you say this, your body just heard that and here's what it's going to do in response. It doesn't, it's going to think when you say, oh man, I'm going to have that conversation with him later. And it's going to be a tough conversation. And I'm nervous about how he's going to respond. The body says, you're being chased by a lion, run for your life. Right? Are you okay over there?
Slow down.
Not your body, Damien. Protect
Yeah.
you.
No, I know. I'm with you. I'm drawing a metaphor. Keep talking.
So your body, right? Nobody told us that when you have that thought, your body is going to go into survival mode, and therefore any pain you had before is going to be amplified. Your digestive tract is going to be all off because it cannot afford to put energy into those places because it's got to run because you're being chased by the lion. Nobody told us that. Period, let alone once you get a neurological autoimmune disease. Hello, we needed a manual. Like, no one gave you the manual. And I have spent the last, oh my gosh, almost 6 years now, just on a deep dive, understanding how all of this works, how it all works together, so that, you know what, you are going to take the medication. How do you get the most out of that medication? But we have to know how this thing works first, so that if the grounding isn't the thing, we can figure out what the thing is. Because once you understand the physiology, that's everything, right? And I just want to say this because I think it's so important for people to know whether or not we do connect. There's this whole field is called psychoneuroimmunology. It's incredible and fascinating and being studied extensively. So just
what? Say that again.
Psycho, the mind, neuro, the nervous system, immunology, the immune system. And so
what? I almost cussed. There was a lot of things that concern me. That concern the people who watch your channel.
Right. This is where they converge. And it's this amazing field that's looking at where do these all come together? Where do they overlap? And it's profound. There's a lot there.
Don't talk about it, be about it. I know that you and your structure, your class, and the people in your class have helped stretch me and expand my idea of healing notions and what's possible and what is commitment and what I expect from myself and what I will do for myself. So that's just respect and
thank you.
Thank you.
It's so amazing having you in class. You make it so much fun. You make it so much fun. You're the star student. It's amazing. And you're definitely like our comic relief. But I think what's most important is like, if you can share how your relationship with your body has changed, and where the needle has moved for you, because people hear commitment, they're not going to be like, "Oh, sign me up." But you can share, what this has meant for you and for your health and for your body. I think that would be amazing.
That is how I will close. This is sort of there's a lot in this. And it's happened over time. But my gait tremendously improved. It's still janky, but it's not what it was. My meditation habits are way more consistent. And they were pretty consistent before. And they've jumped up. And in that, I feel my body different. Like I just feel different on the inside. And there's not much you can say to relay that. And you don't know how yummy or delicious it is until you taste it for yourself. And you taste it for yourself over and over and over again. So that's walking. That's general. I feel better in my skin. And there's the whole world of other healing modalities, other things that I'm now more accepting of and open to try, and open to give my all behind and see if it works. And even if it doesn't work, that's cute. Because I will keep going because I believe that I can have a more complete, not any more complete. I know I can have wellness. I know I can have it. I can touch
Now
it.
you
I
know it's
feel it. I can
possible.
taste it. I know it's possible. So let's go.
Yeah.
That's what I have really gotten. I think you guys, breaking out of the paradigm that not only are you in, but disease has put you in, is probably the toughest thing that you have to do. And it's like fighting the boss in a video game. You do all of the levels and you do all of the pitfalls and jump over things and whatever, and you get to the boss and you have to fight that boss. Well, friend, that boss looks like you because that boss is you. And things like that we've discussed here and that Kaley goes through over time in her class are ways for you to beat the boss.
That's right.
That's it.
And it's such an amazing, everything you're saying is so incredible because it's like, it's to hear that is like, yeah, this is why I'm here. Like it brings me so much joy and a sense of wholeness because it's like, I know that health is possible for you, that wellness is coming, that it's already there,
Already
that you
here.
are doing all the things to make that a reality, and that you now know that you are not at the beck and call of your body. And that shift is huge. Like we are the victims for so long. I was the victim for so long to this disease. And the person what you just said, that's not a victim. You are the boss, just like you said. And it's just about learning the nuances and feeling things that you didn't know you were feeling before. It's so beautiful. And I'm so honored that you trusted me when I randomly was like, okay, listen, I know we don't know each other that well, but you really got to take this. And then I was so shocked. You were like, okay. And I was like, wait,
let's
what?
Go. Also, can you catch up now? Bye. It's
so
true.
Thank you for trusting me, and thank you for making the class so fun. It's amazing. And it's been so inspiring, and it's been so exciting that now I'm going to offer another version of it, new and improved. And because because you have just humbled me so much and trusted me in all of this, I totally want to make this really exciting for your audience. So we're gonna offer a special link, a special registration link for your audience, so they'll get a discounted version. And and because you just made this whole conversation so much fun, and you're super inspiring me with everything that you just shared, I'm going to go ahead and I'm like, am I really about to offer this? I'm going to offer it. The first 5 people who sign up on your special registration link, I'm going to give them a free one-on-one.
Bro, don't talk about it, be about it. You understand what I'm saying? Yo, there are people out, yo, look, not even if, don't talk about it, be about it. If anything the hell we just said the past 20 minutes, half hour resonate with you, you better go on and get that link and use it, baby, because you will have the opportunity to sit here and chop it up with KZ and be like, hey, yo, this is what's happening. Hey, yo, what's going on? And KZ will put that shit on, what she got to say on you, and then y'all will be like, oh, okay, cool. And then y'all go off into the healing sunset together.
Sunset, I love it. That should be my new logo. The healing sunset. That's so fabulous.
Look, Zeitouni, there's a lot here when I just say that it's not a straightforward road to healing. It's not a simple road to healing. So, and a lot of times it's not fun. And you bump up against things that are not fun and continually. And how you figure out your way through it, around it, whatever, that's where the healing happens. And that's the most difficult thing to actually execute on. And that's why the structure and the accountability is available in the course. So do yourself a favor. And sign, hey, come have fun, okay? You know I don't do no boring stuff. You know I do awesome things, and I've been meeting with this person and her group every single week. Well, at least almost a year, at least. Cause you know I don't do no not fun stuff. So come on now.
It's been the most fun because it was like an 8-week class, and then everyone was like, "Let's just continue." I'm like, "Okay, we're having fun."
No, there is more healing and another body in you in a way that cannot currently be seen right now. If you believe in that and you want to figure that out, no matter what it might look like, no matter how difficult it may be, take the class and see what you can find in yourself and what you can find through the people that are in the class with you as well. That's what the hell I would have to say. Do you have anything else you would say before I tell the people, K-Bot? Are we done here? That's it?
You just totally nailed that. You just totally nailed that. And the one thing I'm so honored, like you're my cheerleader. I'm gonna have to hire you to do all my marketing. The one thing I will say is also know that this is an individual journey, and it's all the right timing, and you have to do it when you're ready. And that's because I know what those of us who live with illness are like. If you don't go and follow that link, don't criticize yourself. Don't judge yourself. That's just not you today. And that's fine.
Let's go, bro.
Yeah. And we believe this, right? Everything is just divinely ordained, and whoever is meant to be there will be there. And I just want to bless everyone watching this, no matter what your path is, no matter what's going on for you right now. I just want to bless everyone with so much abundant, vibrant health of mind, body, and soul. However you get there, may you have that fully and completely.
I took it because she wasn't even giving it to me. I took it. It's mine.
Take it.
Hey, thanks for giving some of yourself to this space. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for everything that you do for all of us, Damien. It's so amazing. Thank you.
That's just joy. I'm sorry. Excuse me. No, thank you, Kaley, for sure. And I don't even know how to wrap it up, but all I can do is just say